You've learned how to graph this, and you've learned how to graph this. But now it's time to graph this. All right, here's the example that we'll be doing in this video. We need to graph this polynomial right here. And remember that the official scholarly definition for polynomial is stuff with multiple things in it. So before, with straight lines and with quadratic equations, we had like a fancy system we could use to graph these. But once we start getting to like x to the third and x to the fourth, it starts getting a little bit too complicated to just do some fancy system and graph something. So we're going to have to graph this using a table. And essentially what this means is we're going to plug in numbers for x, see what we get for y, and then we're just going to plot that on our graph. And once we do that enough times, we'll have a rough idea of what the graph's going to be. That's why your homework might say to sketch the graph instead of like graph it, because sketching means it doesn't necessarily have to be super accurate. And remember that this up and down line here, the up and down values, those are y, and left and right, that's x. So we're going to start over here on the left with the negative numbers, and we're just going to work our way to the right. So for my first number, I think I'm going to start here at -3. So we're going to put -3. You could start at somewhere farther to the left if you wanted, but I'm just going to start at -3 as a good starting point. Doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in -3 every time we see x. So x is going to become -3. And whatever number we get is going to become y. So let's go ahead and rewrite this equation, but with -3 for x. So we're going to have -3 cubed plus 3 times, and then x is going to become -3 squared plus, and then -3 minus 2. So if you remember PEMDAS, which is like the order that you have to do these things in, the E is for exponents. We need to do exponents first before we do any multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction. So -3 cubed, let's go ahead and write that out. That's -3 times -3 times -3. So we have 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we have two negatives. Two negatives make a positive, so we just have +9 times -3. 9 times 3 is 27. And we have one negative sign, so the negative sign stays. So this is equal to -27. But you may notice that here we have -3 cubed. So we're going to have -27, which is +27, because two negatives make a positive. Next we have +3 times -3 squared. Well, that's -3 times -3. 3 times 3 is 9, and two negatives make a positive. So we're going to have +3 times 9. And then here we have plus -3. That's just the same thing as saying -3 minus 2. So let's go ahead and continue on. We have 27 plus, and then 3 times 9 is 27. And then -3 minus 2, that's -5. And now I'm already noticing this is going to be way too big a number, but we'll just finish it off anyways. 27 plus 27, that's 54. Minus 5 is 49. So our final number for y is going to be 49. Now, there's no way we're going to be able to graph that on this little graph here. So what I'm going to do is actually, I'm probably going to skip over to -1, because I think that'll have a more reasonable number. So let's go ahead and put in -1 whenever we see x. So we're going to have negative, and then instead of x, we're going to put -1 cubed plus 3 times, and instead of x, we're going to put -1 squared plus -1 minus 2. -1 cubed, that's -1 times -1 times -1. 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1, so then the number is still going to be 1. But remember, we have two negatives here. Two negatives make a positive, and we're left with one more negative. So the negative sign carries over, and it's going to be -1. But remember that we have one more negative here on the outside. So that's going to be -1, which is +1. So we had a total of 4 negative signs, and those turned into positive. Next, we have plus 3 times -1 squared. Well, that's -1 times -1. Two negatives make a positive, so that's going to be 1. So we're going to have 3 times 1. Then we're going to have plus -1. That's the same thing as just saying -1. So we're going to put -1 minus 2. Then let's go ahead and clean this up. We're going to have 1 plus 3 times 1 is 3. And then -1 minus 2, that's, we lost $1 and then lost another $2, so that's -3. And then we're going to have 1 plus 3 minus 3. The plus 3 and minus 3 cancel each other out, actually. So we're only going to be left with 1. So our y value is going to be 1. So this is actually going to be the first point that we plot on our graph. So we're going to have x equals -1 and y equals +1. So remember, x is left and right. Negative numbers are on the left. So we need to start in the middle and go to the left 1 to get to the x value. And then it says that y is +1, which means we have to go up because y is up and down. We need to go up 1, and we're going to have a point right here. And now, even though this -349 thing seems like it's totally pointless because we can't graph it here, it actually tells us that because the point is all the way up here somewhere, the graph is going to be coming down to this point, because it could have started down here and then gone up like this. But this tells us that it's coming from the top. So let's go ahead and graph 0 now. Let's go ahead and plug in 0 and see what we get. So we're going to have -0 cubed, plus 3 times, and then instead of x squared, it's going to be 0 squared, plus 0, minus 2. Now, 0 cubed, that's 0 times 0 times 0, which is just 0. And -0 is still 0. So this isn't doing anything. We have plus 3 times 0 squared. Well, anything times 0 is 0, so that cancels out as well. And this plus 0 is also not doing anything. So our final answer actually already is -2. So when x is 0, y is -2. So let's go ahead and plot this point on our graph. Where x is 0, that means we're not going to the left or right at all. We're staying in the middle. We are going down because y is up and down. We're going down 2. So we're going to go down 1, 2. And our point is going to be right here. We already did -1 and 0. Now let's go to +1. Let's go another one to the right. So we're going to have -1 cubed plus 3 times 1 squared plus 1 minus 2. 1 cubed, and remember that this negative sign is actually on the outside of what's being cubed. We have to do the cube first. 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1. So we're going to have -1 because the negative sign is still here. So -1 plus 3 times 1 squared. 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is 1. So we're going to have 3 times 1 plus 1 minus 2. Let's go ahead and clean this up. We're going to have -1 plus 3 times 1 is 3, and then plus 1 minus 2. We had $1 and lost $2, so we're down $1. And now we have -1 plus 3. That's the same as 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. And then 2 minus 1 is 1. So when we plug in 1 for x, we get 1 for y. So let's go ahead and plot that on our graph. We have to go to the right 1 because x is left and right, and x is +1 in this case. And when we go to the right 1, we go up 1. So we're going to go up here. So now you may notice the graph is actually, because we started up here, we're going to be going down, but then we go back up. And I'll show you why that is in a second. But first, we need to plot some more points. So let's go with x equals 2. We're going to have -2 cubed instead of x cubed plus 3 times 2 squared plus 2 minus 2. And immediately I'm seeing that this plus 2 minus 2 are just canceling each other out. They're not going to be doing anything. So let's just cross those out now. Why not? So we're going to have 2 cubed, 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So we're going to have -8 because that negative sign is here. Then we're going to have plus 3 times 2 squared. That's 2 times 2, which is 4. Now the -8 is going to stay, and we have 3 times 4 because we have to do multiplication first. 3 times 4 is 12. And then we have -8 plus 12. That's the same thing as saying 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8 is 4. So we get 4 for y. So let's go ahead and plot that on our graph. We go 2 to the right because x is 2, but we get 4 for y. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to have a point right here. Now you may be thinking that if we started up here, we're going to go down here and then go back up. It kind of looks like a parabola, right? But actually, I don't think it's going to. And just to show that, I'm going to do one more x value. We're going to go ahead and do 3. 3 cubed, that's 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So we're going to have -27, and then plus 3 times, and then 3 squared. 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9. So we're going to have 3 times 9. Plus 3 minus 2. 3 times 9 is 27, so plus 27. And then plus 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1, so we're going to have plus 1. -27 and plus 27, those cancel out, right? Those just equal 0. So we're going to have 0 plus 1, which is just 1. So 1 is our answer. So let's go ahead and put in 1 on our table and plot this point. So we're going to have 3 for x. That means we have to go to the right 3. So 1, 2, 3. And y is 1. So we need to go up 1. Well, this is a weirdly shaped graph. What is going on here, right? So it's actually not going to be a parabola. We're going to start up here, go down and back up like a parabola, and then go back down again. So let's go ahead and draw the line in between these. And remember, this is just a sketch, so it doesn't need to be totally accurate, which is just my excuse for drawing really terrible graphs. But here we go. This is our sketched graph. But you might be asking yourself 2 questions. First of all, how did I know that it was going to go back down like this and not just keep going like this? And second of all, how do I know that if I do 4 or 5, it's not going to go back up again? Why am I so confident that it's going to look like this? Well, for that, all we need to do is look for the biggest exponent in our equation. In that case, that's 3. And the 3 means that we're going to have a maximum of 3 directions that this graph is going in. So you can see that this graph is going down, and then it goes up, and then it goes down again. It changes direction twice, so we have a total of 3 directions for a 3 exponent. It doesn't necessarily have to have 3 unique directions. It could look something like this instead. This graph goes up the entire time, but you can see it goes fast and then it slows down and then it goes fast again. So you can think of it like that as well. But it's never going to have more than 3 directions. So if the exponent is 3, you're not going to go back up and then back down again. This is the maximum amount of directions that you can have. And also, because this is an odd number, you're always going to have an odd number of directions. So you're never going to have it go down and then up like this, because that's an even number of directions, down and then up. That's 2 directions. So there you go. This is our sketch of the graph of this polynomial. So you now know how to sketch polynomials. Congrats. But part of the reason that this method of graphing polynomials is helpful is because it helps you to find where zeros are and where relative maxima and minima are. If you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, you can watch this video right here. And as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to answer your question. Thanks for watching.